Shall we begin?
Why not? Welcome to Frankie Sense and More. It's like she's got a whole lot of goodness for you with a little bit of sass.
Frankie, did you just say...
She sure did. Not to mention, along with...
Whoops.
Join us now as Frankie Picasso and her new co-host mix it up with authors, musicians, and interviews with world-changing people.
Let's begin.
Okay, let's begin now, because it only makes sense.
That see them as, for instance, source of meat.
Right, right.
So it's definitely a very mixtured cultural understanding of family pets. So it really depends on who you talk to and also the, the areas of the country where you're
It's interesting. It's an interesting dichotomy because you think of the emperors of China with their Shih Tzus and, the little dogs sitting on their lap and, that they would have this. And then you have like the other side, as you stated, the dog treat, the dog meat trade. Is that something that's been around for a very long time or did it come from, people starving or how did that start?
You mean the dog meat?
Yes.
Yes. So the dog meat, I guess like the tradition. I mean, there's really not. We wouldn't call it a tradition, but a dog as a meat source of meat began over like hundreds of years in China, I guess, and then that starts like when people, back in the time when the most of the countries are very poor, and then there's a lacking a source of food, but then it's not until wasn't until recent years where I'm sure that you've heard their so-called dog meat festival,
right?
In some areas in China, it's not until recent years when there's festivals such, and then because of the social media, Weibo, which is Chinese version of Twitter, and then the whole event has been blown up and then brought into the spotlight.
Sure.
Of the world, and people started to learn about that, and then so I'm iconically this event grew from a small kind of isolated local event into a well-known, internationally well-known festival. So, yeah.
Wow. Yeah. And so have you always, I guess you've always been an animal lover. When did that start for you? Did you have a pet when you were a little girl?
Well, no. I didn't have a pet when I was a little girl, but I always loved animals, and but not so much with people around me. And then I guess when I was little, I did stray dogs everywhere, and I heard about people eating, like they're talking about eating dogs and cats and things like that.
So that wasn't something your family would have engaged in. No.
Oh no. This is not I wouldn't say it's a common behavior in China for most people, and it's really just a concentrated in a few areas in China. When you go to China, and then there you will find in few areas in China you will find more people consume dog or cats as meat.
And will they actually say that on their menu at a restaurant, or will they hide it?
In some areas, for instance, in some small cities in Guangxi province in China, or even in some cities in northern China, restaurants that they will say dog meat dishes on menu. But again, it's not a common thing. It's not something that you will see everywhere in China. I haven't seen that. In China, but if you go to those specific cities and areas in China, you definitely see that more often than other areas.
So your group has been responsible for neutering and spaying over 500 animals. That's fantastic. Congratulations.
Yeah, it's close to 600 dogs.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, so that's it's a free spay and neuter program that we offer for rescued and stray animals for free, and then also what's included is a microchipping as well, which is still not very common in China. So we'll do that, and then the program also includes a 3-day inpatient care after the surgery for the dogs, and plus a bag of dogs.
Well, you know what? We're going to go to a break in 2 minutes, so we'll start it. But how are you doing this? Because, I was working with some rescue organizations here, and that is the one thing that is very expensive and very difficult to do. Yeah, you guys are doing amazing work.
Thank you. I would love to tell you more about it.
Yeah, well, I want to hear more about it. Sophie, do you have any questions so far?
No, that sounds awesome, though.
Yeah.
Dog meat has never been appetizing to me.
No, it's
it's too hard to look at your pet and think, I gotta eat you.
It's too hard to even think about it.
It really is. And the animals that you've brought over so far, just, wow. Those 2 Goldens were just beautiful. They just touched my heart. That went to a family out in Portland, I think they went to. Yeah. But just Oregon. Beautiful. Yeah, in Oregon. Really nice. I want to talk about all of that. It's very exciting. And you operate on 3 continents. That's pretty exciting, too.
Yes.
So I want to know about that. Where are your 2 partners? We got a minute, but you can tell us where they are.
Yeah, sure. So our shelter and rescue team is located in Beijing, China, and then that's where our China team is, of course, and that's where most of our groundwork happens. And we also have an office in the UK too. We are a UK registered charity.
Nice.
So three co-founders from including myself in the UK, in the US.
Awesome. We're going to break. Okay. Stick around. We're going to talk more about Together for Animals in China. We're going to hear Sophie's song. Don't go anywhere.
Warmed up. Frankie Sense and More will be right back after we pay the bills.
Have you heard? The pages of American Patchwork and Quilting magazine come to life on our new weekly online radio show, American Patchwork and Quilting. Join Pat Sloan, our blogging and quilt designer host, as she talks about the latest trends, ideas, and inspirations. Her guests include quilt pattern designers, authors, quilt shop owners, and our editors, all quilters, just like you. Call in with your questions. Get quilting tips from industry experts. Learn about free patterns. Hear behind-the-scenes stories from our magazines, American Patchwork and Quilting, Quilt Sampler, and Quilts and More. Get the scoop on free stuff and find out more about the best independent quilt shops in North America. To listen to a live show, tune in Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern. Just log on to allpeoplequilt.com/radio. To hear past shows, go to iTunes and search for American Patchwork and Quilting Radio. We hope you'll join us because we know that quilting changes everything.
Reaching out from the heartland of the United States with quality programming, this is TogiNet Radio.
If you're ready for a big change in your work, your career, your happiness, your life, it's time for the $1 Million Mindset with Marla Tabaka. Monday afternoons at 2, 1 Central on TogiNet.com. Marla believes that with the right mindset, anything is possible. Join us as successful life coach Marla Tabaka inspires you and her clients to explore, discover, and live your dreams by developing what she calls the $1 Million Mindset. Marla will inspire you to take action on your dreams and reveal secrets to success that will help you realize your own unique power. Tune into the $1 Million Mindset for heartwarming stories with Marla Tabaka. Learn tips and tricks to building a successful business and unlock the secrets to creating a happier, more balanced life through abundant thinking and attraction power. For more information on the $1 Million Mindset, go to our website, marlatabaka.com. That's MarlaTabaka.com. It's the $1 Million Mindset with Marla Tabaka. Monday afternoons at 2, 1 p.m. Central on TogiNet.com.
And we're back at Frankie Sense and More. I'm glad that you stuck around. We are here with our guest, Lucy Wang. Singer-songwriter Sophie Koorhan is here, and we're going to be talking to both of them. But I did want to ask you, Lucy, about your neuter and spay program, because that is one of the most difficult programs, for people to engage in the rescue community. And you guys seem to have a real handle on it. So if there's something that you can share, it'd be great.
So our spay and neuter program is solely relied on donations from public. It's and then it's only made possible by partnering with our local hospitals and also our amazing volunteers and just donations from our great
What are you
supporters.
paying for a neuter right now? May I ask?
Say that again.
How much are you paying per neuter?
That's quite honest. I will have to ask my our China manager who's in charge of the program. So I don't want to say a number that might not be correct.
Okay. Yeah. No, I'm just curious to see how they're doing it and what they're charging. And in England, I don't know if you knew, we had Mark the Vet on. Mark is Vet of the Year for many years running in the UK, and he's just a wonderful person. And you should hook up with him while you're there, because I know that he's worked in China. But one of the things that culturally speaking, because I just had somebody on another show recently who was saving the rhino, and I know that the Chinese believe in the rhino horn is good for sexual enhancement and things like that. Wow. So a lot of the animals who are becoming extinct are extinct because of the trade in China, actually. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So are you doing any education around that?
But we do campaign as much as we can, just to raise awareness about animal rights and welfare in general for all animals, not just dogs and cats. But we mainly our group works mainly focused on dogs and cats and family pets, and we try not to be just focus on what we do the best, and then help as much as as many animals as we can, instead of being the jacks of a trade. And then but we do also partner with other groups who are also in different areas, who help other animals as well. So we definitely we try to get involved with other campaigns that help other animals as well. It's a part of our organization. Programs that we also, for instance, that we promote healthy lifestyle, vegan lifestyle. Just to get because vegan is a very new concept in China. Not many people know about that. And then, for instance, many people get confused between vegan and vegetarian. They don't know the difference, and it's just stuff like that. So it's a very early stage in terms of animal rights movement in China. So it's a very we believe it's a very important message to give out to the public, just about, what's veganism, what's vegetarian, and what's animal welfare. So that's a big part of our program as well, is, to educate people about veganism, about vegetarian and things like that. And then, what kind of impact that we do on a daily basis, when we, where our meat is from, the source of the meat. And then when we eat meat, what that means. And basically the animals behind the slaughterhouse.
Are there actually dog meat farms in China?
Well, that is a very good question, and the answer is no.
Good.
That might not be, I don't know if that's good or not, but no, there's no dog meat farms in China. There's no evidence of any large-scale breeding facilities or farms in China that raise dogs for meat.
No puppy mills or?
No, nothing large-scale. Actually, I think Animal Asia, is a very well-known animal rights organization that they did a 4-year-long investigation, and then they found no evidence of any large-scale breeding facilities. And it's all very, even for puppy mill, it's like small scale, but no such a thing. With that being said, it's a different horror, a horror story for dogs who are victims of dog meat.
That's for sure. That's for sure. Sophie, do you have a dog? Do you have a family pet? You don't.
I have a cat, but I'm more of a dog person. I don't know why I have a cat.
Well, guess what? Lucy has an international adoption program. Why don't you tell us about that?
Yes, we do. We have. It's still very new. We prepared this program for a long time, but it didn't start until 2014. Mm-hmm. So it's very. We try to adopt our animals out to all over the world.
Are they shipped by plane?
Yes, they ship.
Wow. And that's all volunteer money?
It's all volunteer based. It's run and managed by volunteer, and then also as a part of the international adoption program, we have a fly volunteer database, which we constantly recruit people who travel between China and then the rest part of the world.
Sure.
Because it's the cheapest and then also easiest way for to transport an animal internationally.
How much would it have cost to send those dogs over from China to Portland?
To Portland, it's average is about a little over $1,000. So that's like 6,800 RMB. So that's 1,200 US dollars.
Now, how do they fare on that flight? Because that's a pretty long flight, and typically the animals it's pretty cold in the baggage hold.
So they're supposed to stay in a pressure and temperature controlled cabin.
Oh, okay.
And then also, of course, before they travel, we try, as best as we can to make the flight crate as comfortable as possible for the dogs. So we put blankets in, and then there's a water bottle that they can drink out of. A little toy if the weight allows. So it really depends on the weight of the whole cargo. With the dog.
Do you sedate them at all?
We don't. Usually we don't, and it's not really recommended for the animals. It's not. I guess it's not safe. So we've never sedated any animals before they travel, and then luckily we haven't had any problems.
So when you're in your crew in England, and you in the U.S., what are you there to receive these animals? Is that your role, or to get donations in those countries? How do you work?
Yeah. So Grace, she is one of the other co-founders, and she's in charge of the UK office. And then so we are in charge of mainly raising awarenesses and do campaigns on the social media, on our website, and just get the news out and share stories outside of China. The one of the main challenges many rescuers and animal activists in China face is that the censorship. And then also the fire, the Great Firewall war in China, where Facebook and Twitter and then a lot of other websites are blocked in China. And then also there's a language barrier as well. Most of Chinese people don't speak English, and most of the rest of the world.
I was going to say your English is very good.
Oh,
very good. Yes.
I'm actually very nervous right now. So
no, but not only do you speak it really well, but you have a really good handle on just colloquialisms and just different expressions and ways of speaking. Really good.
Thank you. Well, that makes me feel much better now. I'm a little nervous, actually.
Don't you think, Sophie?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I wasn't even second guessing it.
Yeah, you were born in China. That's pretty good.
Well,
good job.
Thank you. Yeah, so this is I guess our team's advantage that both Grace and I speak English, and so we are able to connect both sides. between China and the rest of the world. And then we are kind of like, bridge between two worlds. We're sharing stories, we share resources, and so that's our job. We, I see ourselves as a connector.
Right.
And we make things happen, and we create opportunities, and it's been great.
Awesome. Well, we're going to go to a break in just a couple of minutes, but I want to know what your goals are for 2016, and when we come back, and we're going to listen to Sophie's music. I hope you'll stick around just for her songs, and we'll talk to her for a little bit, and then we'll come back and talk about all of this. But I do want to know how much money you're trying to raise, and what the future holds. All of that for you. Yeah. Do you have the same goal in each country, or is it a common goal that you work toward?
It's a common goal that we work towards. Ultimately benefit animals in China, and also push the animal rights movement in China as a whole.
And have you managed to recruit veterinarians to give discounted pricing and things like that?
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Yes, that's it's like medical care is going naturally such a big part of shelter work, and then our team in China is constantly working with the local hospitals, and then also our charity in the UK that we've trying to get grants from the local charity. And there's I think there's a medical. I mean, Grace can tell you more about that.
Sure.
There's a grant that provide medical support and supplies for other shelters and non-profits, and then we've recently have been accepted as authorized users. So that's
good
great.
For you.
Yeah, we're very excited.
Well, we're going to commercial break. Please stick around. Don't go anywhere, because we are coming right back. Frankie sent some more. You've been listening to Lucy Wang. We're going to hear from Sophie Koorhan when we get back. Excited, aren't you?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Getting warmed up. Frankie Sense and More will be right back after we pay the bills.
It's the Fitness Minute with fitness expert Annette Hammond.
Have you ever felt that you're too busy to exercise? That is a common excuse, and one that is used quite often. But the reality is, we make time for what is important to us. We all get 24 hours in a day, and it's simply a matter of prioritizing and managing your time. If you have time to watch your favorite television program, get a manicure, or read a book, you have time to exercise. I always encourage my clients to exercise first thing in the morning, if possible. Roll out of bed 30 minutes earlier, put on your exercise clothes, and head outside for a brisk walk or run, or head to the gym. Get it done early before the demands of the day interfere with your exercise schedule. Starting your day off with exercise is energizing, invigorating, and mood enhancing. For the Fitness Minute, I'm Annette Hammond.
Have you heard? The pages of American Patchwork and Quilting magazine come to life on our new weekly online radio show, American Patchwork and Quilting. Join Pat Sloan, our blogging and quilt designer host, as she talks about the latest trends, ideas, and inspirations. Her guests include quilt pattern designers, authors, quilt shop owners, and our editors, all quilters, just like you. Call in with your questions. Get quilting tips from industry experts. Learn about free patterns. Hear behind-the-scenes stories from our magazines, American Patchwork and Quilting, Quilt Sampler, and Quilts and More. Get the scoop on free stuff and find out more about the best independent quilt shops in North America. To listen to a live show, tune in Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern. Just log on to allpeoplequilt.com/radio. To hear past shows, go to iTunes and search for American Patchwork and Quilting Radio. We hope you'll join us because we know that quilting changes everything.
And we're back. Frankie Sense and More. I am your host, Frankie Picasso, and I'm so glad that you stuck around because we have some great stuff coming up. But first, I just wanted to let you know if you have been listening to the show and you'd like to find out more information, you can, for Lucy and her organization, go to www.tacn.org, or you can write to her at info@tacn.org. I want to make sure we got that in there. Sophie Koorhan. She's coming up. She's currently a student at Belmont University. It's an innovative Christian college that allows students to have a professional internship in the entertainment industry. And while expanding her skills and experience with her career in Nashville, Sophie is just moving along, man, doing her singing and her writing and her songwriting. And she has just released a new CD, or a new album, as they call it. They're back to albums now, called For a Fella. Welcome, Sophie.
Hi.
Hi. So you grew up in the Pacific Northwest. Where exactly was that? Or you were born there?
Well, yeah, I was born in Portland. We were actually talking about Oregon earlier.
Yeah.
I was thinking that.
Yeah.
But then I moved around a lot as a kid, and I grew up mostly in Philadelphia area.
And as most of the musicians I know, they said that they got to Nashville as soon as they could.
Yeah, that was pretty much me too.
Yeah. So how old were you when you arrived in Nashville?
Well, I decided to go there for college because, I just wanted to go to Nashville and my parents wanted me to go to college. So it was kind of a compromise that I found school in Nashville.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite cities. I just love Nashville. As a matter of fact, my husband and I love it so much we can't wait to go back. We're probably going to go next month or so. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun there, for sure.
It's great food.
Yes.
Everywhere.
Excellent food. The best food, for sure. And so you have your song, as I said, the title track from For a Fella is For a Fella, and it's available on your website at sophiekoorhan.com, which is SOPHIE, capital KOORHAN. And if you go there, you can download it for free. So why don't you go there right now and do that? Yay. Music is also on Spotify and iTunes. So if people want to find out more about you, they can go there as well. So let's hear that song, Ben. And then, Sophie, you can tell us who it was written for.
Ooh.
And about.
To decide the color of your eyes. It's like blue, green and brown, decided to compromise. And I don't know every freckle on your face, but I want to count them up. And 24 hours in a day with you would never be enough, because I like the way you twitch when you talk, and I like the way your knees knock when you walk, when you sing to yourself and smile when I catch you, and I like the way that you say fellas, and I really think that I just fell, 'cause being with you is more than what I
And there you go. We have a few more minutes left in this song, but we want to talk to Sophie. Wow. So you wrote that a few years ago, you said?
Yes.
What a beautiful voice you have. Were you playing any of the instruments on that?
I play piano, but I had someone else actually record the piano on it just because I'm okay at piano, but I had some great musicians
to concentrate on singing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds really well produced. Good for you. It's and so who was that about? The guy who twitched when he talked?
I've never told anyone that before. I think it might have to stay a secret, but he's still pretty great. So
he's still around, is he?
In a way.
He doesn't know?
He doesn't know, but...
Secret love. That's funny. So what's your process like? Because I live with a singer-songwriter. What's your process like for writing a song? Yeah. Do you write the lyrics first, or does the melody come first for you? How does it work for you?
I really just sit down at the piano and they kind of come together. It's usually whatever's on my mind. It's actually completely random. I just put my hands down on the keys, and whatever they happen to hit, I'll be like, oh, we'll start with that note, and then just kind of say whatever's on my head, and it usually flows out into some sort of musical song.
Yeah. And do you walk around with a notebook and you hear a conversation and you hear a good line, you write it down?
I do have notes on my phone that I do kind of throw in some stuff, but then sometimes I look at it later and I'm like, what was I thinking?
Yeah. Lucy, do you play an instrument?
No, I don't. I wish I did. That was a lovely, lovely song. I loved it so much. Thank you for playing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always wish I.
How many songs are on your album?
Oh, I should know that off the top of my head. I want to say 10, 13, somewhere between.
Nice. Yeah. So what's up for you? What's your next?
12. I was wrong. There's 12.
12. And you can buy it on your site, I'm imagining, and at Spotify and iTunes.
Yes.
And so what's it going for?
You can't get away from me.
And don't forget to go and download your free version of that song. You can go and download it at sophiekoorhan.com.
Yeah, there you go.
Do that. Yeah.
Definitely. And, I have all the social media, Sophie Koorhan Music on Facebook. You can find me anywhere.
You really are fantastic at social media, I have to say. You sign up on her site, and boy, she lets you know about all kinds of stuff. You are really a master at it. I was very shocked and surprised and going, wow, she's young, and look at her go. Like, that's amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah. No worries. Like, really. So
I love actually connecting with people. When do I finish school? I have one more year.
And what are you studying at Belmont?
Entertainment.
Entertainment.
Yes, with a writing minor.
Okay. So what does that mean when you study entertainment? Is it about do you learn the law? Do you learn how to dance? Do you learn how to do it all? Like, what do you learn?
It's mostly like the learning about the industry. So we learn the different laws and contracts and everything. Mm-hmm. And then, we also learn how to market and how to, build ourselves as a business and, really where the industry's going and where we need to be in terms to be successful within it. So it's really great. I've had a ton of great classes and wonderful teachers. So I love it.
Awesome. Well, it sounds like you were born to do it. And everybody, it's so interesting when you think about, a career. Lucy, did you imagine that you would be doing, being an animal activist?
I didn't know that. No.
What did you think you'd be doing when you were younger?
When I was young, I thought I was going to be a doctor.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what happened?
I don't know. I guess, just later in the school, I found out that I sucked at science classes. I was like, oh, maybe it's not a good idea for me to become a doctor. So, so my most of my family members are doctors. And so I always thought that I was going to be a doctor, but,
Wow.
Yeah.
I hate to profile a race, but usually, like, Chinese are good at math and science.
I know. That's why you can never generalize anyone.
Yeah.
People just assume that I'm good at math, but I think I'm okay now. But comparison to other Chinese people, I'm not good at all.
That's so funny.
I thought I was going to be an architect.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
But I'm not good at math either, so
Yeah, I'm not good at math.
that went
either.
downhill very quickly.
Yeah, that was my problem. I was gonna be a jockey, and then I was gonna be a veterinarian, and I was gonna be an author. So I did fulfill one.
Well, there you go.
But,
well,
yeah.
speaking of occupation, I guess there's another fun fact that actually all our entire team, we all have full-time job outside of Together for Animals in China.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, so our team, the Together for Animals in China is managed and run by 100% by a team of volunteers who don't get paid, aside from a full-time paid animal caregiver who works at our shelter in Beijing. So the rest of the team, including founders and management, we all have a full-time job.
Wow, I want to know more about that, but we're going to go to a commercial break right now, so I can't ask you about it. But stick around if you can, because we're going to come, we'll be right back after this brief message. And you're going to come back and we're going to talk to Sophie, and we're going to talk to Lucy and Frankie, and it's going to be good. So don't go anywhere. We have to pay some bills.
No, we're just getting warmed up. Frankie Sense and More will be right back after we pay the bills.
LinkedIn. It's a great tool and a great way to do business in today's social media driven world. And Carol McManus is the LinkedIn Lady with the LinkedIn Lady Show. Tuesday and Wednesday afternoons at 4 p.m. Eastern on allbusinessradionetwork.com. The LinkedIn Lady Show is designed to inform, inspire, and educate businesses. Every social media site has a specific demographic, personality, and purpose. And the LinkedIn Lady will interview a variety of guests, such as business owners who can showcase their business and talk about how they use social media, such as Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Google+, Pinterest, and of course, LinkedIn. For more on Carol and the show, check out her website, LinkedInLady.com. As trends change and new applications become available, the LinkedIn Lady Show will bring that information to you in an easy-to-use, fun, and engaging way. Every Tuesday and Wednesday afternoons at 4 p.m. Eastern, it's the LinkedIn Lady Show with Carol McManus on allbusinessradionetwork.com.
This is the TogiNet Radio Network, radio with a cutting edge.
Have you heard? The pages of American Patchwork and Quilting magazine come to life on our new weekly online radio show, American Patchwork and Quilting. Join Pat Sloan, our blogging and quilt designer host, as she talks about the latest trends, ideas, and inspirations. Her guests include quilt pattern designers, authors, quilt shop owners, and our editors, all quilters, just like you. Call in with your questions. Get quilting tips from industry experts. Learn about free patterns. Hear behind-the-scenes stories from our magazines, American Patchwork and Quilting, Quilt Sampler, and Quilts and More. Get the scoop on free stuff and find out more about the best independent quilt shops in North America. To listen to a live show, tune in Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern. Just log on to allpeoplequilt.com/radio. To hear past shows, go to iTunes and search for American Patchwork and Quilting Radio. We hope you'll join us because we know that quilting changes everything.
And we're back. We're sorry if you hear a little fuzziness. There's something going on in the world, but we're all here, and we're going to try our darnest to sound good for you. So here you go. We were talking about professions before we went to our break, and I'm kind of curious. What is your full-time job, Lucy?
Oh, I'm a photographer and a small business owner.
Are you?
Yes. And our UK manager, Grace, she's a UI UX designer. And Xiao Li, who is our China manager, she works in for a construction company in Beijing. And all our other volunteers and core volunteers, they all have their own full-time job.
That's so interesting. I started off as a photographer.
Oh.
And my ex-husband was a photographer, and my son is a photographer. And so that's very interesting.
That's
My dad
what
is
kind of photographer?
And your dad's a photographer, Sophie.
So many of them.
That's so cool. Wow.
Yeah. I'm a pet photographer, though.
Are you a pet photographer?
Yeah. So,
I love that.
Yeah, so I guess my full-time job, everything that I do is about animals.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. I was trying to get my son to do that because I would like to do that. And what kind of photographer does your dad do, Sophie?
He does like portraits and, whatever he wants, really.
Yeah. Whatever he wants.
His pictures are great. No, I mean, he just has his camera always, so it's just like, oh, this is something I need to take a picture of.
It's great that, to look at the, the world through a lens like that, though. I mean, it's so different, than that. Now
it really is. Yeah. I don't have the eye for it at all. So I give much respect to photographers.
But you're very photogenic, and I love what you said in your profile that you're in a relationship with your water bottle.
Oh yeah, it's right next to me right now.
Is it? That's good. I need to drink more water. I think everybody does. But so what are I want to know what your goals are for 2016, both of you. Let's start with Lucy.
Yeah, I guess our goals for 2016 is built on what we have built in 2015, which I think we have many good things going on. The programs, the domestic and international program adoption programs. We try to find homes for more dogs, definitely in 2016, and try to help more animals through our free spay and neuter program, and also we try to host more training and workshops for other rescue groups as well. And then the other thing is, I guess, is that we have on our plan is that we try to have a shelter development. So we try to upgrade our shelter into a more higher standard, like the shelter that we have in the West, and then we try to set an example as an educational base for other shelters and also for the public, so they know what shelter is supposed to be like and what it means to have animal welfare in a shelter. It's not a place just to keep animals, but it's also a place to offer to take care of animals properly. But also,
are you cage free there? So, Lucy, are they cage free?
They are cage free. Yeah,
nice.
in our shelter, they animals, they do have different compartment where they sleep, but they don't. We don't keep them in a cage. They have a yard where they hang out. Where they bathe
in the socialize
sun. And they socialize and they play. And then we have a 24-hour caregiver who lives in the shelter. Takes care of all the animals.
Like the pictures that you post of the animals that you're trying to adopt, they look fantastic. So do you have a groomer? And are you the photographer that takes those shots, to try to get those?
I wish I was the photographer there taking pictures, all the time over these animals. But I'm so far away. I'm in the States. But we do have volunteers, come over and then help us out, on a regular basis. And then one of them a professional photographer, so they take profile pictures for our animals, and that way it's easier for them to find home.
Yes.
And we have volunteers who stop and then give kind of help groom the dogs, and then do the routine maintenance, nail clipping and ear cleaning, things like that. So we heavily rely on volunteers.
Yeah, and they do a good job, because a lot of shelters they'll give you the the really sad sack dog. With tears in their eyes, and why don't you adopt me? And yours look healthy and happy, and that's kind of the dog I want to adopt, right?
Yeah, it's important.
It's a different approach.
Definitely. And then I think that's the same thing that even a lot of shelters here in America try to do as well, to show, and then it's definitely particularly important, I think, that we feel in China too, because it's so rare in China where shelters actually provide proper care for animals that they take in. It's not any fault on their part. It's just the number of rescued animals, the number of the animals that need to be helped is so overwhelming, and then the resources just so are so lacking. So that's something that we try to change as well, is to pass on the knowledge of what shelter supposed to be run and how animals supposed to be taken care of, and then also share resources for other rescue groups and shelters as well. So that's a long-term goal, not just for 2016, but I think for many years.
Many years to follow. Okay, so remember, folks, listen to go www.tacn if you want to find out more about Together for Animals in China, and you can write to Lucy at info@tacn.org. Sophie, what are your goals for this year and next?
My goals are now to adopt a puppy from Lucy.
Nice.
Oh, yay! That's great.
Well, there's a Sophie up today on Twitter. I saw she's very cute.
Really?
Same name as you, yeah.
Yes. All our dogs are very cute.
At all. I am Sophie. This is my dog, Sophie.
Yeah.
That's actually named after a dog.
Are you?
Yeah, my mom used to babysit for someone whose dog name was Sophie, and that's how she liked the name.
Oh,
so.
How cute is
Maybe
that? So it'd be
so
perfect for you
funny.
to get a Sophie then. It's like you have to.
Yeah, you know where to find me.
Yeah. But musically, my goals for 2016, I've been working on a ton of new music. This past couple months, I'm in Los Angeles right now working with a producer, and it's starting to sound really good. And it's like killing me not to share things yet, because I know like all my followers want to hear it, and I just can't wait to actually share it with everyone and, get the feedback and stuff. It's kind of new, kind of different sound, but I'm just working towards getting it all out there, and that's my.
So, do you like the performing aspect? Do you like to be up on stage? Do you enjoy that, or do you prefer, to make your music and get it laid down on a track and promote that? What's fun for you?
I love both.
Yeah,
they're definitely very different experiences, though. Like, getting in the zone and being in the studio and recording is like so much fun, and I'm just. I'm kind of a goof to work with, but being on stage is also great. And like, it's really depends on the audience, cause it's like an energy you can feed off of, and it's a ton, both are a ton of fun.
So is that what you see yourself doing though? Being in concerts or being in shows? Like, what do you see yourself?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm going to be back in Nashville soon, and with my band, I'll be playing a bunch of shows around, so that's exciting. And
have you played at the Bluebird?
I have not played at the Bluebird. No. I wish someday.
Yeah. Or the Ryman.
Yeah, those are hard to get in, but, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe at the end of 2016, that could be my goal.
That'd be a great goal. That would be a great goal. So don't forget, for a fella who doesn't know who he is, go to sophiekoorhan.com and download that single. And that's free right now. So you can go right now and do that. And that's pretty cool. And then after you like that, then you can go and purchase the whole thing. Because why not? There's 12 songs. And you can do that off the site or at Spotify or iTunes. And that would be pretty cool because Sophie's working hard.
I am.
Yeah, you are.
And who doesn't like free stuff? So no excuse.
Yeah, free stuff is good. Free stuff is really good. Well, we've got about 3 minutes till the end of the show. Is there anything either of you would like to say, or was it fun for you?
Yeah, this is a blast.
Awesome.
It's been great hearing from you, Lucy. You're doing great stuff out there.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, it's it's my pleasure to be on the show, and then I'm so happy to hear such great music on the show as well.
Oh, I forgot to mention, both of you are absolutely gorgeous. Like, go look at thegoodradionetwork.com.
Oh my God,
these girls are both beautiful.
I'm blushing right now. Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay.
Yeah, and if anyone's on Twitter, you should follow me. My Twitter's @Sophun, SOPHUNN. I'm on there all the time, so that's probably where you'll get the most like updates and stuff. If you want to follow me.
Yeah,
I would definitely follow you.
And your Twitter, Luce?
Our Twitter is TACN_official.
TACN_official. Okay. And I was serious. Sophie is a dog, and she is looking for a home on PACN.
Yes.
Official. She's there right now, and she's very cute.
Yes. Yeah, and we have Instagram as well, where we post lots of cute pictures of dogs that we have, and cats as well in our shelter.
That's going to kill me. I'm going to have like 8 dogs. I'm going to have to get them all.
Yeah, you know where to find us. So send us a message, and then we figure something out.
And seriously, I just want to say how important it is to rescue an animal rather than go to a breeder even, or, please don't ever buy a dog from a mall. But if why not rescue a pet? They need a good home, and they're loving, fantastic, beautiful animals. I met one the other day who had a golden retriever who had no fur left on his face. It was black skin, but you know what? It's coming back. He had some dental work done. He's doing great, and it's wonderful. It's such a wonderful feeling. It's such a wonderful feeling. So support both of these ladies, please. Both of these organizations are different but great in their own ways. I am Frankie. This was Frankie Sense and More. We are back every week, and we are so happy that you joined us today. Ladies, I'm so thankful that you came on, and I'm so grateful for all of you who download the show each and every week.
This was so great. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
My pleasure. I hope you guys will come back.
Of course.
And thank you, Ben, for producing the show today. I really appreciate it. You can take us out.
Yay, Ben.
Bye.
Hey, Ben.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
See on the beat, Hit Rash Production.